Hello and welcome back to Sidemen Reacts with myself, Ethan and Josh. To celebrate the incredible season Red Bull had last year in the F1, we're going to check out 12 crazy stunts they have done with their Formula 1 cars because they're crazy. Wow. They're crazy geezers. Let's see what they did.
For the purpose of this list, we've focused on the hardest to pull off and the most spectacular. That means excluding show runs. They're great and they've wowed crowds in Almaty, Beirut, Belfast, Bogota, Bologna, California, Cape Town, Hanoi, Hyderabad, Muscat, Santiago, St. Petersburg, Tokyo, Vienna and many more.
This car been more places than me.
Okay, we're sort of breaking a rule here straight away because this is technically part of a show run, but it was so much more than just locking off a small part of road and burning some rubber.
The boy David Coulthard, what a hero.
A very rich man.
Oh yeah.
Owns a hotel in Monaco, didn't he? Sold it recently.
Ooh.
David Coulthard, who you'll see several times in this video, drives around public roads, through cobbled squares and down a small strip by the harbour as he passes some of Copenhagen's greatest landmarks and also members of the public. A few years later, talk of a Danish Grand Prix around the streets of Copenhagen emerged, and if that ever comes to fruition, which it hasn't so far, Red Bull can say it got there first. Number 11, Daniel Ricciardo's rugby scrum. In 2016, Red Bull released a video of Daniel Ricciardo and an RB8 going up against an 8-man scrum from Bath Rugby.
Imagine the medical sign-off for this, right? Like the risk assessment.
If it's calculated, they'll get run over.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to scrum an F1 car. Alright.
The first time we were properly introduced to the concept of a countrywide Red Bull road trip was when Coulthard explored Jordan in April 2016 ahead of a show run with Pierre Gasly on the banks of the Dead Sea. The desert run posed a major challenge for Red Bull as the intense heat took the engine temperature beyond 100 degrees and the car was sucking up sand and dust.
Yeah,
and via the Amman Citadel to chariots and Roman soldiers in Jerash, a Salt City Mosque to the Al-Khazni Temple in Petra, this had more than a touch of the spectacular to go with the logistical challenge.
2 horsepower
and as Coulthard said at the time, I'd say of all the journeys I've been on with the team, this one has
I want to
been
go
the
there.
epic.
Sidemen?
Yeah.
Sidemen video? Can we go?
It's
For what
weird,
though?
isn't it? It's sick.
What do you do? Just
I'm telling you, we need to do 7 Sidemen, go to 7 Wonders of the World. It would be such a sick video.
That's a shout. That's a
Be
shout.
such a sick video.
we said before, innit? Like in pairs.
Yeah,
with someone else.
we just grab another person each and go. That would be so. I'd be so game. Later this year.
I'm in.
Liz.
I'm in. I'm there.
So someone gets stiffed over. That's out before, right?
What's one that's the stiffing?
Shock. That'll be me.
Depends what you consider in the 7 Wonders of the World.
Stonehenge.
Because the new 7 Wonders is Great Wall of China, Petra, Machu Picchu, Christ Redeemer, Colosseum, Taj Mahal, and Chichen Itza El Castillo.
Those are all
Mexico.
sick. Those are all sick.
Those are good.
I'd have to
Other than
do
the Colosseum,
anything.
which is I guess is closest to be fair, but the rest.
But that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Still, I say we do it. If you want to see it, leave a comment down below.
While longer cross-country trips would be explored in later years, Red Bull's 2011 takeover of Austin before the return of the United States Grand Prix took in lots of locations around the Texas city. And as each venue brought something different to the table, leading up to a spectacular dirt track lap of an unpaved circuit of the Americas, this could be considered the first time a simple show run was shunned in favour of more complex storytelling. DC's dirt road escape from the ranch has him being chased by a car, a quad bike, horses and a helicopter.
Jeez.
And bonus points if you spot the failed attempt from one rider to lasso the car.
I don't think that would have gone well.
No.
Red Bull likes to use older generation cars for show runs because of the V8 engine's durability, but even this engine has its limits, which were tested in the Canadian winter. In temperatures of -10 Celsius, Red Bull's biggest problem here was avoiding the axles freezing and locking, so the priority was to keep the cars warm instead of cool. Sebastian
Imagine a
Buemi
safety
was
car on
tasked
that
with
one.
controlling the RB5 on ice, aided by specially produced tyres, with a run across a frozen lake and then a circuit that was mapped out loosely on the Montreal F1 track.
That's very cool.
It's not unusual for Red Bull to be able to briefly take over a major city, but when that city is New York, it's already a little different. And when it involves clocking nearly 200 miles per hour in the Lincoln Tunnel, you see why this is on the list and why it places quite highly.
That's nice.
1 year after their dirt track exploits in Austin,
My guy David got to do so much sick shit.
He done some sick stuff, yeah.
We've done so much sick stuff.
with a Liberty Island backdrop, a drive through Liberty State Park, a sample run through the New Jersey course that was never realised, and the Lincoln Tunnel blast, Red Bull's project was a massive undertaking with a significant police presence. The 190 mile an hour run through the tunnel is the star attraction, but Coulthard cracking on through residential areas is not far behind.
Cracking on. The most English voiceover.
Cracking on.
In 2018, Red Bull's F1 road trip concept evolved into an absolute monster. San Francisco,
Imagine you're just going down the
Monument
road
Valley,
and you see a
Las
Red Bull
Vegas, the
F1
Rocky
car
Mountains of Miami
just coming across the
was
junction.
truly worthy of the road trip name.
That's
The lengths
sick.
Red Bull went to for this were intense. The desire for sunrise and sunset shots
That's
by day sometimes
so
started
sick.
at 4 AM and ran until midnight. And in between, there were still plenty of
To
locations
Vegas.
to hit to get the footage.
Yeah.
And operationally, Red Bull sends a very small crew. There were also specific challenges to deal with on the car side. Jacking up the ride height wasn't enough for the beach running, as the core surface was like running on sandpaper.
That's a
and
slow
shredded
stop. It's a
tyres.
slow stop for Red Bull there.
Very
Will
slow
will
stop.
this cost them?
Wait, you know, that poor bloke at the back of the car.
So you get
tyres.
sanded.
No,
Oh my
no.
god.
This was a massive undertaking from Red Bull and put an F1 car in not just one unusual place, but many. It would feature further up this list, but it gets docked a couple of places because
What?
although it's presented as
What?
Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, Patrick Friesacker is doing the driving. And
Ooh.
we're a stickler for authenticity. 2 title-winning Red Bulls and months of work were required to realise 4 days of filming in which Verstappen and teammate Alex Albon travelled to Zandvoort via windmills, shipping containers, a greenhouse, the Netherlands seat of government and a beach. Temperatures were just over 0 degrees in January, and it was so cold when they were filming the scenes in Rotterdam Port that
It's
one of
so
the
fun
starter
just
motors
driving
broke,
around a
and then
port
the
in an
backup
F1
had to in
car.
as well. So they had to craft a replacement quickly on site. Other parts of the road trip encapsulated a variety of the normal problems on these kind of events, including overheating while running at low speed, crowd control, and checking roads for potholes and welding down manhole covers. It had its own problems too, such as filming the cars drifting through a live auction house and postponing the final day of filming by a month because of torrential rain. It's the
Gee,
sheer
that's Europe for
quantity
you.
of tricky locations
Yeah.
and the challenges that had to be overcome.
Losing light. losing
Sidemen,
weather.
Sidemen problems every time.
It's been almost a decade since Neil Yarni and Red Bull tackled the Himalayas, a feat we had forgotten about entirely before compiling this
I want to
list.
go.
It's
Off
meant
to
to
the
go,
be.
it's so
phenomenal view at
different.
around 18,000
They just make
feet,
this shit,
the
it's
Cardinglar
nuts.
mountain pass quite literally took Red Bull and its demonstration team to new heights.
It just
Red
looks
Bull
so
needed to
interesting.
take oxygen bottles as the crew battled
Different
altitude
mode, man.
sickness, and the reduced air intake for the engine, down around 20%, meant the car was barely keeping alive. But Yarni coped well despite the first snow of the season falling and a road that was so potholed that the final few kilometres had to be abandoned and completed on the back of a truck.
Shit.
But given that happened at around 18,000 feet,
They put a blanket on the car like it's having a bad day.
David Coulthard doing donuts on the helipad of the Burj Al Arab Hotel,
This is nuts.
Jesus.
What the
So nuts.
probably what most people think of when they think of Red Bull putting an F1 car in crazy places.
fuck that, bro. Fuck that.
Too clear.
I imagine
The
it just like the
7-star
wheel
spin
captain and
project,
you just go
the
forward.
nauseatingly high feet claims the third step on
That's
a podium of
fucked,
bonkers
you
ideas
know.
from Red Bull.
And to think Money Kicks is going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather up there.
What a spot.
That is fucked up.
Rigorous tests had to be undertaken on the ground and on the helipad to test its surface for weight tolerance.
I can see, I got proposed down there. got proposed.
Jeez.
My brain cells.
I got proposed. I
You
got
got proposed.
proposed. I got
proposed
proposed
down
down there. Fucking.
Right.
brain cells.
proposed.
Brain cells have left the building.
I love the fact that he caught himself as well. He went, I proposed. I'm sake.
Oh, dear.
God's sake.
What a spot.
The car was transported by helicopter, so the damn thing was also airborne before reaching the almost 700-foot high helipad for Coulthard to do
That's
his
we did that in
donuts.
GTA.
No cargo
yeah,
bumps.
we did.
Cargo bobs in a mini. Oh what? I
What do you
didn't know
do
they
if
did
you've
this.
conquered
What?
the art of the Formula One pit stop? Conduct one in zero
What?
gravity. Aided by the
What?
Russian Space Agency and at 33,000
Jeez.
feet
Wait,
on
same
board a
plane?
cosmonaut
Hey.
transport,
Same plane.
Red Bull's
Yeah.
mechanics
Jeez.
able to
That's-
experience weightlessness
our
lasting
guys.
around 22 seconds.
Jeez, that's the
These are called
Donnies.
parabolas, where the plane climbs at a 45-degree angle, then falls at 45
Shit, we did
degrees
that.
as
Yeah,
well.
they made it look a lot cooler
One
than us. Look at
mechanic
the light.
described
Yeah.
the experience of dealing with this phenomenon as
Yeah, the lighting looks
badly
really
Wow.
cool.
and
That is a
another
lot cooler than
headbutted the
ours.
front wing with their helmet.
Yeah.
We got Sidemen budget. They got Red Bull budget.
The exercise required around 80 parabolas,
80.
putting the personnel through an extremely physical challenge.
We did 10.
Preparation
We did 80.
included a styrofoam mock-up set and a week's worth of flights. And Red Bull picked the RB1, its 2005 car, because it was smaller than its successors. With around 22 seconds of
That
zero
actually
gravity
could
to
have
play
been like
with,
really dangerous
filming
if
each
it
part
went
was
wrong.
limited to
Like,
15 seconds
Yeah,
to
yeah.
ensure the car and the
imagine you
equipment
end up
could be
underneath
rapidly
that when the
secured
gravity
before
comes
the
back
period of
on.
weightlessness
Like,
ended.
and it's not easy to control yourself.
The men in charge of running Red Bull's cars on these projects admit they don't quite know how they pulled this one off, and that, combined with the sheer spectacle of an F1 car tackling a ski slope, means the Kitzbühel run locked down the #1 slot very early on when we were putting
This is
together
sick.
this
This
list.
is nuts.
On day one, the car only managed 20 feet out of the garage before sinking in the snow. Overnight, some snow chains were made locally, and Red Bull spent the next night modifying the car to fit them, such as taking off the brake ducts and trimming the floor. Even once it became possible, the prospect of Verstappen attacking utterly unsuitable terrain for an F1 car
This
was
guy's
quite
a sicker.
dicey. Red Bull support team
This guy
coordinator
doesn't
Mark
care,
Willis said
bro.
of the prospect, "The first time he had to drive off the edge of the mountain down the bottom of the ski slope, I was hesitant about sending him. It was very daunting watching him head over the edge, hoping he was going to come back." But come back Verstappen did, and in front of 3,500 spectators he committed to an Alpine run like no other. The setting, the conditions, the surface, the wow factor, this one simply has it all,
Champ.
edging out the zero gravity pit stop
Let's go, champ.
based on how spectacular the end product was. So that's our ranking of the
Jeez.
craziest things Red Bull's done with an F1 car.
Yeah,
It's a few
sick.
things, yeah.
Red Bull clear on the market in front.
Love to see it.
Madness to dadness.
Get yourself an XIX from Red Bull. Enjoy.
Yeah, why not? Why not?